I'll be Dritz again. What up, though? Hey. Facts. He's like, you're not gonna buy anything.
My
well.
favorite drought.
What's happening? True. The difference. The difference.
Just give me your money. See ya, Drist.
Drizzed.
I got all kinds of good stuff.
Drizzed. What a guy. I'm broke.
See ya, Drist.
No, you. I'm broke, man. I got nothing. Oh, wait. Why does the audio sound low? Let me check this out. Let me check it out. Big meeting. Okay.
Goblins had begun constructing.
This one. This is the next one. Okay.
Emperor Hambug, he called himself. This goblin claimed to have found the shard. But what his goblin horde was constructing was no crystal tower. There was only one way into the canyon where Hambug was building his tower. Its entry was held by Goffin's door. But the door's runestone locks were scattered across Rugrib's quarter. And so before we stormed the tower, we would recover the runestones, engage those locks on Goffin's door, and seal Hambug in.
What are you talking about, Legos? This is not a bootleg? Wait, that actually looks like a bootleg a little.
Emperor Hambug.
That silhouette. I mean, I'll make it public.
Get me back underground anyway.
I concede. Wait, no. I don't want to join someone. Oh, yeah. Am I in? Oh, it reset the lobby. I'm not gonna find anyone like lower level than me. Nope. Not the Dark Alliance? True. I was just thinking before the stream started, maybe I should start playing the Dark Alliance 2 on the PS2, or wait for it to re-release, or just play it anyway. Because I do want to play that one, Dark Alliance 2. Yeah, I might just do that. I will. It's just a matter of when. Soon. This song reminds me of, I don't know exactly, the High Plains Drifter theme song. Clint Eastwood. Let me see here. I don't know if it's that one, though. Nope. Was it Pale Rider? Yeah, it's Pale Rider. Pale Rider. That ain't it. It's like some Castlevania music or something. Was it, do 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 do. It could be a few dollars, probably not. No way. It's one of those Eastwood movies. Not that one. It's not that one. Nope. Okay, I don't know. It's one of those movies. Set in EverQuest universe. Yeah, I want to play Champions of Norath again too. I have them all. I have Dark Alliance 1, 2, Combat Arms, Champions of Norath. I think, another one. Was there a second one? United Return to Arms. I can see it from here. And no one's joining the session. Dead game? Dead game? Dead game? Dead game? You'll see, maybe I have to make a post about it. Like, hey, anyone down to play? Nope. Nope. These people are too OP, though. Everyone who wants to play with other people are, like, high level. Too high level. It's over, man. It's over. I'm going in. Berserker Cat. I don't know who that is, but that sounds exciting. Sounds like PSO2 Berserk mode, which is another game I want to play again. PSO2. More PSO2. More every game. Yeah, Lagoza. For sure. Indeed. Not many. I think people don't know about that still. Like, you could play locally. They don't know. People still don't know about that. It's like a new Steam. Pretty old now, but yeah.
I imagine the goblins are enjoying getting one up on the dwarves. Time to take them down a notch.
Why does Dritz sound like that? I don't know. I guess that's cool. I did not expect his voice to sound like this at all. I thought he wasn't even gonna talk, really. I'm Dritz. Cliche. I got a smorgasbord of armor. Electric boots, grass, torso. So you're not gonna jump on this game, are you? Lego's being a fan of Dark Alliance games. You're not gonna pick this one. You're not gonna get this one. It still has that progression. The progression still feels good. Getting new items. Dwarven mug. Here we go again with the dwarven mugs. We've been through this, okay? Search and destroy. Bashir. Bipedal. tigers. Is only playable in Return to Arms. What? What? Look at that dude. What was that move?
We'll show those dwarves how to build a tower.
He moves fast this way.
Dwarves carved this whole place.
It's a gun's technique.
Hamburg was nothing before he found the shard.
Oh.
Ah, shit.
We're going in, y'all.
Put yourself by me, Elspy. I'll warm you up right nice.
Bad idea.
You forced my hand.
Silenced.
Who stands against me?
Go away!
If they Polish this game, yeah, Polish. I may get it. What?
The runestone locks have been scattered by the dwarves. I need to recover all of them and use them to lock Gotham's door.
Gotham? Polish it. Bruh. What else could they do? This game looks pretty polished. It's got a nice shine to it. Hopefully they update it with some cool stuff. Oh yeah, Evan Testa. It's not good on computer. What? What? Maybe they don't. Maybe the game doesn't go good on them. Maybe okay. Seems okay to me. What are they talking about? Are they talking about low graphics? Bravo.
Gotham's door stands guard to the King's Chasm, but the Durgar and goblins invaded from within.
What are they talking about? Maybe their computers are just trash. They're holding games back. We need to get better computer. Nah, I get it. I get it. I don't get it, actually. But yeah, not everyone can afford a good computer. That doesn't mean the game's bad, though. But it is bad. I mean, no. 1080. I have a 1080. My mom's in 1080.
Weren't built to work this hard.
Yeah, me too. I hear you on that one. I was not built to work this hard.
Dwarven halls.
To work in general.
I wonder who built Kessel's crystal tower. Build that.
What the heck?
Stay there. And I'll stay here. I'm saving myself.
Champion!
Ooh. Cursed.
Beware the drowned blade! That's right. Stay over there, drow.
I need to start using the new moves I unlocked. Need to unlock more moves. I need an upgrade. Climb. He does have sheath animation. You should be able to sheath your weapon at any time.
You wanna try to eat it, boy? What do I look like? A verbeek? Want to kill?
Nice.
I'm watching you, drow.
What in the goddamn is that? That ain't right. Now there's your problem. You got some sort of demon sword thing there. I don't know. That might be why your dryer's not working right. Ma'am. Okay, that worked. I'm like the Fonz. Dritz is like the Fonz. He hits it once and then it works. Or it doesn't work. It benefits the Fonz. The Fonzie. Yay. Not good, lads. Curse! Don't smoke this. Don't breathe this.
Another chance to make the Dale safe.
Dale Gribble. Another chance to make Dale Gribble safe. I have that going for me. Yeah, whatever we were talking about 5 minutes ago. Who am I? Who am I? I'm Dritz. What's his name?
Who stands against me?
How do you say it? Dritz.
Come, goblins. Meet your end.
Alpha.
What did he say? Did he say what I think he said? No way. Got it. Is that a chest I did not open? It looks like it isn't open. Wait, alright. Can't go there this way. Can't do it. Can't do it, won't do it. Boy. Why does the sound low today? Huh. It just be low.
Those dwarves really trashed the place.
Yeah, nice of them to...
Look out!
What? Yo, what up? We're fine. We're safe. I wonder if they get poisoned by that stuff. Probably. The plants particularly.
More foes to fell. Champion!
It's too high, it's too high. Oh, I have to do that finish kill thing more. Man, the dwarves really got it, got their butt handed to them. They always seem to be the guys who get like the short end of the stick. Like, oh, they're all dead. Here's what's left of them.
Oh shit! Lock.
They're gone. I'm too powerful. A sword. A sword.
10 towns.
10 towns? For the people of Lazy Town.
I should have made better
All right.
choice. I hope those dwarves never come back. Why am I always on guard duty? I hate guard duty.
He's about to hate it even more.
I always on guard duty. I hate guard duty. Hope those dwarves never come back.
Got him. Got him.
Too many for me.
He stopped talking. He knew he was about to get attacked.
Who stands against me?
Got his boot.
Goffin's door won't open until all the runestones are recovered.
No, you. We're the
Another
kids
chance
in
to make the Dale
America.
safe.
Whoa. A lot of enemies, a lot of barrels left as well. Got the tome, got the tablets. They just spawn back, that's okay. Free XP!
Now let's not do something we regret.
He's gone. I came in through here, right? Right.
More foes to fell.
Sweet. Don't die. I'm not. I won't die. The keyboard and mouse would be beneficial here. Oh. I can't move the camera that fast around to look around. Camera speed, here we go. Better. Better. The mouse is actually slower. Pee pee poo poo. Alright. No, you. I like this. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Ton of stamina potions. It doesn't stack on it. So I assume there's an inventory kind of deal. Okay.
Collapsing the dam may have delayed the Durgar advance from below, but it didn't stop the goblins moving in from above.
Facts, no. The goblins. What if I lower the poo-poo? I like to hear the ambience like loud, so but like the sound effects of the swords are too much.
Dwarves destroy their own
What?
princess. We can rebuild things. I want to find their...
You forced my hand!
That scared me.
Don't much care for the shell guys.
Did I do that?
Elves are right, Bill Scrapper by.
Who said that?
Don't keep me back.
Get HP back. That wasn't so bad. What's in that door he came out of? Hold. Whoops. Ow. Why is there no sound effects for these things? That's odd. Pretty odd. It's an oddity. It's an oddity. Okay, these are always up. Now they're not. We gotta tap that X. Help me! Oh, God! Oh, no. It's a big chest. 11 out of 15 dwarven mugs. Dwarven mugs. All the traps are off, except that one. Weird. Okay. Alright. Okay. Aha, that's a way to go. This is also a way to go. Okay. Then don't fight. Epic crystal.
Enemies of the Dale!
How am I gonna eat you when they're way over there? Elves are right real scrapper knives. Don't much care for this help.
He's gonna go up to the mob. Okay.
It ain't right to be killed by impunity.
Looks like Kingdoms of Alamar. What? What? Haven't heard of that one. Thanks, though. No problem. It's all about the final boss, really. That's the toughest thing in these missions. Apparently. Maybe. Sometimes it gets tough, though, if you're under-leveled, but I think I'm over-leveled right now. As Dritz usually is. But the final boss might be a challenge, whatever it may be. Cold. That might kill us. That might kill us. Oh my. Oh my. I'm dead. No. Don't do this. Kingdoms of Alamar. I'm gonna look that up. Oh, Re-Reckoning. Yeah, I saw this game at GameStop. I was thinking about getting it because it looks like this game. Yeah. People seem to like it. It looks cool to me. $20 right now. $20. Yo, maybe I will get it. Evan Tessa says it's cool too.
I imagine the goblins are enjoying getting one up on the dwarves. Time to take them down a notch.
I had to walk back.
And was filled with a magical aura. He's got 3 feet, a foot taller, Kapoy. Defend our turf.
Didn't I already fight these guys?
Now!
Drow! Drow!
The Durgar and goblins invaded from within.
Rune stones.
I know. Runes, maybe.
Runes are on the outside, Kafoy.
Silver. Gold. Gems.
Dwarves ain't putting gems inside the keys to their doors. I don't think. 10 towns, barbarians.
Enemies of the Dale!
Crap.
At least we got to see them run. Yeah, that was a first. We're under attack. Tear your ears off.
Aha! I missed one. That's not good. How did I miss one?
Boy, a drow!
Beware the drow!
Lots of story. Not necessarily a good thing, but yeah.
Easy pickings.
Too much story. Manong.
A boy, a drow!
It's like corn of the medieval ages. Malano, manano, manano, malano cookie. Malano.
Dwarves always build such high ceilings.
Alright, I'm back.
To air out there's only one? This'll be easy.
Where did I die?
This one's had training.
Maybe here. Alright, the ice. Okay.
You force my hand.
Alright.
About to get shook at.
I want drow blood.
Now, hold on.
You get that warmth. Now we go in the ice. That was my mistake. That was a dumb mistake on my part. Really dumb.
Why do we have to keep using the tunnels to get to the tower?
Because the door is locked.
Another chance to make the Dale safe.
Stay away from drow.
There's nothing else here.
It's time to fight. Stay away, drow!
Get over.
That was cool. I didn't even know I had that move. There's a seems to be a cave down there. Screw it. Okay. I had a dog and his name was Bingo. Bingo. Uncommon gloves. Excellent. Uncommon thing. Warm. Okay. Minecraft. Wow. It's the elevator. An outhouse or something in there once you open the doors. Bathroom. The only one within 500 miles. I am cold. He's overpowered. What?
Let's give him a taste.
He's too good.
Why do you need 2 swords?
He's too good. What's over here? What are y'all hiding? Hey guys. What's going on here? Uh-oh.
Enemies of the Dale!
Okay, we got ourselves some guy.
That was close.
Another battle ahead.
He ain't nothing, man. Yeah, maybe I should use a less level character for this. Drizzt is too powerful. He's too powerful. What is this? A fan image with some other image. Interesting indeed. Wait. Is that a clue? Thing? One more of those dwarven mugs remain. Darn. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, what's that one? Triangle thingy. Missing one more. Maybe I just have to solve it by elimination. If I were a thingy-majiggy... This one. Well, you thought wrong, dude. What? I got it. It can only be one of each. Nice. Loot. I'm a genius. Whoops. I'm a genius, man. Okay. Yeah, Drizzt's too powerful, man. He's too powerful.
Ah, intruders!
Scream like a girl.
Hell hardly makes a meal.
I defend these lands.
Stab somebody else!
That meat be good.
Wasn't I here before? Now I'm confused. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. I still have to find one of those mugs. Hopefully I didn't miss one, but I probably did. But we're gonna keep moving. Where am I? There it is.
Hey, those swords are sharp,
Ogre. I could die here. Gotta be careful. You're trapped in here with me. Ah, he's dead.
I've had your health made sweet as apple.
Come, Guinevere!
We'll be having elf for dinner.
Oh, he did. He did. Vroggle. Good thing I picked up that dwarven mug before I killed them. Completionist. Bring around the orange juice. Let us drink.
I do it all for the day. And my friends.
My friends. What a nerd. I mean, true. True, Dritz. Very true. Noble. That's enough slices. Okay. Just give me one good thing. Who should I be next? The worst character would probably be the archer. IMO. Damage-wise. Got him. Got it. Whatever I got, I got. Yo, what the frick? Different cape style. Tough call. Tough call. What am I? 13 armor. Life steal. That's probably good. Life steal is pretty good. Set bonus. It has other perks to it as well. Okay. Lifesteal. I think this is better. Why would you need lightning resistance? Maybe to not get one hit, perhaps, by a special attack. True. Compare. Alright, fine. Just in case we fight a lightning enemy. Necrotic resistance. Fire resistance. Huh. I don't know. More armor. It gives more armor though. Epic ring. Have I had this? What? More critical damage though. That's probably why he was OP. I had the plus 15% critical damage. Huh. Poopa pee pee check. I think I sold his original ring he had on, or he didn't have any ring, I guess. Maybe.
What do you need?
Can't change the style of most of these items.
Good luck out there. What's going on, neighbor? What a good choice. Good eye. Good
What a good
luck out
choice.
there.
What a good choice.
What do you need? See you around.
What a good choice. What a good choice. What a good choice. What a good choice. Drizzed. He drizzed all over it. Okay. Drizzed. Who just comes up with a character like this? I'm gonna make a character, Dritz.
Let's see what I got.
That's his
in your
name.
size.
Alright, now he exists. Got a bunch of moves unlocked already. The Hunter. I need more tribute points. Huh. I don't know what to put it. I'm not even overpowered yet. I didn't set any of my attribute points to anything. You believe this? True. It is done.
All right, Riz, take a look. You can thank me later. Nice.
Thank you.
All right, looking good. Yeah, I can sell that. For me,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have. Later then. What's going on, neighbor? All right, looking good.
How's this better? Oh yeah, the upgrade.
Yep, I'll take that. Nice. Works for me. Sweet upgrade. Fresh. That's a step up. Yeah, I can sell that. Mine now. What a deal. Bargain.
What? Got scammed.
Shiny. Works for me. Yeah, I'll take your junk. No takebacks. Sure, why not? Shiny. Yep, I'll take that. Works for me. All right, looking good. Now you might not die so fast. That's a step up. Works for me. Later then.
He's full power. He's too good. The feats of strength. Alright. He's level 6. The Archer Girl. Let me tell you about her. She might be really
See you
good.
next time.
I've only just
Looking
done.
for
I've used her
something?
one time. So, you know.
Fresh. Commerce rocks.
But Doyle rules.
Shiny. All right, looking good. Nice. That'll do nicely.
What?
What a deal. Works for me. Sweet upgrade. That's a step up. Shiny. Dale's not gonna save itself.
Someone joined. Too bad it doesn't show what they're doing.
Chalk up one for me, Wolfgar.
Someone joined. The final one, the Goblin
He had
Tower.
sealed Hambu within his canyon, but left unchecked, he would eventually break free. If that happened, all of 10 towns would suffer raids from his goblin horde. And so now was the time to assault his throne room. Once Hamburg was defeated, we would tear down his tower and restore dignity to at least this part of the Dwarven Valley.
I think we're too powerful for just adventure mode, though. What do you do? What do you do? Oh, someone left. Someone left. Okay, do it. Do an adventure mode. Wait, what? Wait, we have full squad? No, I did not beat the game. I didn't. Oh, someone joined us. Integrity. Oh crap. It's starting automatically. We have a full squad though.
I can't believe I don't remember more about Mithril Hall.
What up, though? Yeah, look at that picture. Look at that. Look at him. That's like a unique wallpaper for this mission. No. No, I have not. Are we out here? We out here.
I'm not sure what's the bigger insult. That goblins infest our halls, or that they call that rickety structure a tower.
They built it on top of my ancestors.
When we tear it down, their faces will bask in the sun again.
I was there when Hamburg claimed the crystal shard.
Playing this game with a full squad is more canon.
Hamburg always has a booyah with them. Wish I had a booyah at my side instead of you.
Chest up there. Huh? tiger sound.
Goblins have built on top of treasured dwarven sculptures.
I thought they were skipping ahead. We're all together.
Seen Hamburg in a while. That's because you can't see him. What? Because he's invisible.
John Cena.
Invincible, not invisible.
Okay. I don't know why they didn't pick that up. Maybe you have to pick it up on your screen. Maybe, or they just missed it somehow.
Slugmog probably ate him.
That's a cool move. Stamina potion doesn't do too much. What are they doing? Someone activated the microphone. No. Why they skipped it, man? Yeah. This is why I didn't want to do co-op. That's okay. Understandable. He's a guy. He's a bad guy. We get it. We get it. Oh, they killed him already? What?
This barrier protects you from my wrath.
He's spinning. Wow. That's beautiful.
The shard!
Take some screenshots. Skipped it. They skipped it. That's okay. Hamburger dead. King Hamburger. Most kills I got. I'm surprised I got anything. 0 executions.
Woohoo!
What? Dritz is always the high level. Yeah, Far. It's a new game by them, by the same people. As far as I know, it's by the same people, same universe, I think as well. Return to the lair. I think they're talking, but it's not working.
Your good friend Regis
I heard him
told me all
for a second.
about you. Kartik Stoneroller here. And to my booth.
Regis came by? Why didn't he stay? We could use his help.
Said he had important business in Kaer Konen. Something about a hero's feast? Whatever. He left me here to make sure you had everything you need for a fair price.
All right. What we got? The Archer. Physical attacks for charged arrows. I guess I'll get that. I guess so. Kick driver. RB after a light running attack. Shoot down explosive shots before landing from an aerial state. I don't know. Holding forward. Cartwheel kick. Dude, these moves cost so much money. That's crazy, man. Lightning resistance. What?
Whatever you need, Teddy Bree. Gee, thanks. No take-backs. What a deal. For me, you shouldn't have. No take-backs. Yeah, I can sell that. Dale's not gonna save itself. Hey, Archer. See you next time.
So what gives me better arrow? Better arrow attack. I don't know.
There's a lot of plundering going on. By us as well.
Oh, don't fret it. My halls were looted by Durgar, and
What?
we find comes from who knows where.
Goblin Shard 2, can we do that? Alright.
Oh, Bruner. Look what they've done to our home.
He's fine. Bruner.
Nothing worse than
Dunk. Right into the tree. I think I have ice element on this axe. Or does he always have that? Bruh. It has like a delay. If you tap it too much, he'll keep attacking. Like a minute after you're done spamming the button. Crap.
real nice for horns to trash their own home. That it would keep us out.
Okay.
So did you, ever hear?
Oh, you should have fell off. Oh, what? I fell off. How does that work? They should have like a thing before you start the game. Like, I'll make it so you let people know, I want to play as this character, but I don't mind switching. They need something like that. Y plus B, I'm pressing it. I'm pressing it. What is going on here? What was that move? Oh well. I got it. I got the rocks. I'll hit the rocks. That's my jab. He's got it. Alright, so maybe you have to actually go to the chest to get your own item. I don't know. I guess so.
Finally on the train. The dwarves are gone. You think they ain't coming back?
I'm back. Short rest available. Got 2.5 gold now. Starting to learn the value of it. I thought I fell. I thought I fell. What is going on here? What? I guess that was the loot from the troll. Where's Dritz?
We don't have always has a booyah. Wish I had a booyah.
Dritz. That's my attack. The poison man. I messed up. Good night, Evan Testa. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Amazing. Amazing. Oh. Wait, we're here already.
We killed the dwarves. We should be celebrating and working our shoulders off.
We drove out their weak while they're
I teleported him here. What was that noise? All right, we are certainly a Dark Alliance.
The shard, boy.
Can see all.
$4,000 coin from this. That's one move set, one skill. It's not much. It's not much.
Watch for straight war.
Bam. I'm going after the big guy. Yo, what is this? Not good. Oh no. Pedestrians off the thing. What was that achievement? Let me see. Complete 5 missions with other players. Okay. Alright. No problem. What we got? Who was number 1? I did nothing. I got nothing. I got no top thing at all.
I do it all for the day. And my friends.
His friends. That guy's level 12. I should probably beat the story first. Like solo. I messed up, bro. I messed up. Got it. Alright. Okie dokie.
Brunor Battlehammer. Welcome, King.
I'm gonna probably end the stream there. It's gonna be a little shorter stream than usual today. That was fun.
I got word from Bryn Shander. My people want to move back home. But I'm loath to let them set foot in those halls until we're sure the Dale is secure.
They'll be in their own homes soon enough. You're right to delay.
Oh man, I wish I could play more, but I really shouldn't. I would. We got a team now. We can all like just keep doing missions and stuff. But like I really shouldn't. Okay. They're probably gonna leave anyway. Honestly. What the? I don't like the bald helmet at all. Actually, I don't really need to wear that. Don't really have to. What is necrotic anyway? Okay. Okay. People are dipping. They're dipping. Tap forward RT. A tremor-inducing lunge attack. Press A and X. Unblockable foot stomp shockwave. RT while blocking, crushing attack. Tough call. A and X while blocking hammers the shield to heal all allies. Oh, that's really good. I'm getting that. Alright. Don't even have to think about it. Stamina cost on blocks. I don't know. Anvil Hammer Forge. Bursting elites. Okay. Physical damage after blocking an attack. Sure. After parrying. After sprinting. Okay. I don't know. Seems good.
All right, try not to die.
Guns retriever.
You're gonna love what I got.
You're gonna love
Worked
my
for me.
nuts.
Sweet upgrade. That's a step up.
Can I change who's the host? Yeah, I'm gonna head out. I hate to do it. I hate to do it.